In the land of Ingery, where such things as 7 league boots and cloaks of invisibility really exist, it is quite a misfortune to be born the eldest of three. And with these words, one of the most wonderful children's books that was ever adapted into a Studio Ghibli film was created. What am I talking about? Well, let's talk about it. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Spiraken Book Club. I am your host Zan. Say konnichiwa, aloha, buongiorno, and what's up? Hope you're doing good. Hope you're excited for another fun-filled episode of this awesome book club. Hope you're doing well. Well, actually, let's see who's on here right now. Do we have everybody here? I don't know. Looks like we got a decent amount here. And sorry about the little chewing. Kind of rude. We're doing pretty good. And I am excited to discuss this really cool book that for the last month we've been talking about. And there have been some really good thoughts about it. People have been texting me about it and intrigued about it because most people didn't realize that this was based off, that the movie was based off of a book. It actually was. But beforehand, let's get all the spiel out of the way. Oh no, kitty pal. You okay? You good? Oh, she's just snooping. For those of you who are unaware, that is Maddie the Spiraken cat. And for those of you who aren't aware, my name is Zan. Konnichiwa, aloha, buongiorno, and what's up? I am the host of the Spiraken podcasts, as well as the head of the Spiraken Book Club. And if you remember from last month, after a poll, we decided we were going to be talking about, by Wynne Jones, Howl's Moving Castle. A story of a young girl who has the misfortune of pissing off a witch and getting turned into an old woman. In order to save the day and fix this curse that she can't talk about, she ends up beseeching a mysterious wizard known as Howl, who's rumored to be a philanderer, a stealer of women's hearts. And she ends up working for him and hopes to find her curse. The assistance of his young assistant, and of course, can't forget Calcifer, the fire demon. But this is a story about that. And it's kind of cool. We're discussing this situation. My phone went off. Sorry about that. And this is that story about a young person who pretty much just... What are you eating? Oh, just playing. It's scary when you hear that noise. It's like, what are they ripping up? What are they destroying? And, well, this is live. So, yes, welcome to the live stream. Beforehand, if you are joining us for the first time, welcome. Spiraken, or some podcasts making reviews about connecting enhanced narratives, is a nerdy podcast where every episode we talk about various geeky things. Depending on the show you're listening to, since it's the book club, obviously we're talking about books, but we also have our Spiraken Manga review, Spiraken Con report, and various other social media sections. Definitely just check it out. It's pretty cool. But I'm digressing, getting a little bit far from myself and a little weird. So remember, you can check out any of our earlier episodes at www.spiraken.com or youtube.com/Spiraken, or on Blue Skies, or on any other social media site. Just type in SPIRK and guarantee you find us. And if you're watching on YouTube, remember to like, share, subscribe, and as always, click on that bell for notification when we release new episodes. And I'm actually kind of excited to see what happens and who we talk to today. And let's see, is everyone in the room chat right now? Looks like we got a couple people on here, and I got multiple cameras and multiple screens, just to let you know. It's my usual setup. I talked about this during our behind-the-scenes review that we did. But let's get to it, because we're talking about Howl's Moving Castle. And this is, besides an Academy Award-winning story, this is one which has won ALA Best of the Best in YA, Boston Globe honor book. It's an ALA notable book, and it is one which is very different, because this is a story about someone who doesn't feel she's lucky. I mean, Sophie is a young woman who is the oldest of 3 daughters, and in her mind, it is a weird rule that the oldest can't be happy. The youngest can be happy, the middle child can be happy, but she has to stay home and take care of the family, and that's what she thinks occurs. And that's what the story's about. The story is that. And to be honest, you really sympathize with her, because when we first meet her, she's someone who's just kind of being walked all over. Her sisters are getting all of these amazing opportunities, and she's like, I'm going to stay at home. I'm going to live at the hat shop. I'm going to work at the hat shop. My dad's new wife is going to take care of me, even though she obviously isn't taking care of her. Well, she is, but she isn't. And then, of course, the way she dresses like an old woman, which when things happen, it kind of makes sense. It fits that her outside reflects her inside. And that was actually one of the first questions we had for this, which was, do you think that Sophie's curse was because she acts like an old woman and that's why the Witch of the Waste cursed her to become an old woman? Or do you think it was something else? A lot of people were thinking some other elements. Let me see actually what comments were made. Last one was, that's not bad at all. It was, no, they think that actually, I can't read that. I'm not going to read that because that's a little insulting. They said it was because she's old with certain parts. And I know this is 13 over live stream, but I don't want to go too crazy. Come on, little person. Come on. Yep. Maddie wants to say hello. She's in a mood today. And say hello to everybody. Come on. Sharp knives. She is fully sharpened. But yeah. So the question is her curse because she's an old that she's internally an old woman, or she's an old soul, or is it something else? We're not entirely sure. I think it's because it connects that dichotomy that she thinks that she's so old, and that until she fixes that mindset, she will be an old woman. In the animated film, I don't want to reference it too much, but I love that the curse isn't just she's an old woman all the time. In the book, she is an old woman to the end of the story. In the movie, whenever she starts feeling young or being less rude, then she grows up. She gets younger and is her own age just because of the confidence she needs. And I think that was a nice change from the story itself. Now, what else we to talk about besides the basics of it? Well, then of course we have that wonderful, our favorite other character, Howl. Howl is very different in the book. He is this very rapscallion, debonair man who constantly wants to dress up and date tons of people. And when he's dating them, he acts like such a ladies' man, and he is such a screw up. And I love that when he finally gets depressed, he gets really, really drunk. And I love that the one quote which I have, which for some reason it's not loading on here, but that quote of Calcifer's like, "Go to bed, you fool," and he's like, "You're drunk," and Hal's like, "Who, me?" Says Hal, "I assure you, my friends, I am cone-souled Stober." And then he just gets up, stalks upstairs, feeling for the wall as though he might fall down, and his bedroom door does escape him. I like that they have that Howl is kind of a drunk and a fool, and that Calcifer is there to balance him out. And I love how Calcifer is talked about and depicted. And also, I didn't realize that the whole "May your bacon burn" was from the book. I love that. That is one of the things because Calcifer is a little bit of a pushover because he's taken care of, and he takes care of the house, and he's got some powers, but not too many powers. The twist in the story of how it works in our main antagonist is a little bit of a different situation, though. That the villain is a different fire demon who made a deal with the Witch of the Waste. That was something that was unexpected. I think that was well done, and I think that that's a better villain than, say, just having the king at war because the prince disappeared, which makes no sense. I like that there was an actual tangible villain that you didn't expect was a villain, because at first you thought it's the Witch of the Waste. The Witch of the Waste is going to take Sophie and take her away. And no, it's actually this other character, the demon, who's pretending to be the person who lives with Howl's best friend in the far-off world of Wales. And that was something I didn't expect, that Howl is from our world. That he's Howl Jenkins from our world. And I think that was a nice touch, that it was like, oh, the real world exists, but this is a magical world. Kind of like how Howl in Stardust, how that's the city of Wall, where obviously the story takes place in that world, and then the other kingdom. This is similar to where there is the real world, and then there's the other world, and we focus on the other world, but there are some elements when we go back. But I'm kind of jumbling things. You've read the book, so you know what I'm talking about. So wait, I just got a prompt. Hello, welcome to the live stream. Hope you're doing well, and hope you're excited for another fun, awesome thing as well. How many viewers we got? Let's turn on the. Why is this? There we go. And why are you acting crazy? This fuzzy person is acting very, very crazy right now. She's being really nuts. I don't know why she's being a little crazy. Come on. But again, we're going all over the place with this because this is such a cool story. So what else? Favorite character? Obviously, we have Howl. We have Howl's assistant. We have, of course, Sophie. We have Sophie's sisters, which that I love the dynamic because it's all like her sisters care about her and they're like, oh, Letty's just using you. We're the ones who really are here to help you. And I love that he's like, I didn't want to be a magician. She wanted to be a musician. I wanted to have kids. So we switched places and used magic, and no one's the wiser, but then turns out everyone's the wiser. I love that Marcia's mentor's like, yeah, I obviously knew she used her spell. It was a really lazy spell, and I knew this, and I respect them both. And we see where they're going, and I like that we have this romance between Hal's assistant and Sophie's younger sister, and that they're going to have kids and be married and be happy. And I like that we get this element that's completely neglected in other versions of this story. And all the characters are realized. We get so many elements to it as well in this. Stop being crazy. You're being crazy, girl. You know I had to do a live stream today. She is just extremely in a mood. She's got a mixture of zoomies and I'm in charge. But that's the thing of tortitude. Torties are very, I'm in control, you're not. But I digress. So what else should we talk about with this story? We've talked about a little bit about that villain. We've talked a little bit about Howl. One other thing I will say is there are so many elements of this which is so different. That's well done. And I think that Howl is such a interesting character and the setting is so great. I like that we explain that this giant castle that is so creepy looking and so gothic with its multiple spires is really just Howl's house in Port Haven. That's all it is. It's just 3 rooms. That's all, in a bathroom. It's Howl's room, it's a guest room, it's a bathroom, and it's the living room. That's all. But it looks like this giant castle. And Sophie's like, I have to work so hard to clean it. And it's like, no, it just takes a couple hours. I am curious, though, if anyone caught why Howl wants to protect the spiders. What was the deal with that? I know he makes a statement early on that, oh, spiders do this, but was there something else that I missed? I'm not entirely sure. I'm not sure what the spot is, but I'm curious what your thoughts about this were. I think that, well, honestly, this is one of those stories that is worth checking out. It is exceptional. I didn't think it was going to be as good as it was. And the fact that there's 2 other stories, House of the Air and Castle of Many Doors, makes me want to delve more into this world which was created. And there are so many fantasy worlds which start off great and they don't end as well. And this is a very well-developed world and we're thrown into it. There is no build-up to explain everything. This is just, the world is already there, everything's occurring, and the world building for this is pretty great. There is some nuance that needs to be filled out, but that was my opinion on this. What are your thoughts? Do you think that there were more, the world building need to be more nuanced or more thorough? Let me know. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Oh, my monster is being crazy. She's so crazy. This is going to be the funniest one. You're like, why are you talking to the cat during your live stream? Well, because I've got a cat. That's why. A cat who wants to play and be wondrous. But, and should have recorded this episode so we could see what's going on. Why are you being so crazy? This is Cat Talk with your host, Zan. Say konnichiwa, aloha, bonjour, what's up? And let me put her on the camera. Come on. Come on. So we have a giant kitty here who is here like rawr, rawr. See, say hi to everybody. Say hi. Look right here. Nope. She wants to be a little camera shy. She's like, human, let me go. Let me go. Oh, parkour. Parkour. Yep. Yeah. Greta really liked the story. The one thing that she did say is that it's a great sleep time story because it makes you want to rest after reading it, and you do want to delve more into. Oh, Maddie sees herself. She's looking at the screen and she sees herself, and she's wondering, "Who's that kitty? That big kitty? Where are they? I must defend my human." Yeah. Part of me's like, should I redo this? Should I say 4 o'clock in the evening or 4 o'clock tomorrow? But I'm not going to because this is one I did not expect to be like this. Oh, she's looking for herself. That is so adorable. Look at this. Uh-oh. I have frozen the camera. Oh no. Oh no. This is not good. I know I'm recording, but hold on. Let's fix this now. Okay, we're good. We're good. Okay. You see me? All right, we're good. Sorry about that. Kind of froze for a sec. Some things I want to show you. Miss Maddie. I think she used her Maddie magic. Madeline Grace. Lady Madeline Grace. Come on. Okay. Well, take us. So, regardless, this is being one of those where it's like, should I keep going because she's being a bad girl, or be happy that she's being so good, so attentive? And someone else is watching. Hello, and welcome to Spiraken Book Club. I'm Zan, saying konnichiwa, aloha, bonjour, what's up? Hope you're doing well. Yep, we are currently doing a live stream where we've been interrupted by a cat, and we're talking about the awesomeness that is Howl's Moving Castle. And this amazing story that's so well done. And honestly, out of the 3 stories we've talked about this year, well, 4 actually. Out of the 4 stories we talked about this year, I think this one is one of my favorites. Apothecary Diaries is still number 1 of the year. Don't get me wrong. That series I've delved farther into. But this one is such a different take on fantasy that it's not about let's save the kingdom. It's just a girl trying to cure a curse. And what happens with that? It is a story of true love. It is a story of wonderfulness and sadness and all of those lovely, lovely feelings. But again, we're getting ahead of ourselves. We're getting a little pushed away. So, either way, let me know your thoughts. Leave a comment in the chat or leave a comment down below on what you think about this story. Final thoughts. I think that one of the best parts of this is the final major quote. I mean, the last quote of the book is important. And that one is, the last quote in the book is, I think we ought to live happily ever after. And she thought he meant it. Sophie knew that living happily ever after with Howl would be a good deal more hair-raising than any storybook made it sound, though she was determined to try. It should be hair-raising, added Howl. And you'll exploit me, Sophie said. And then you'll cut up all my suits to teach me. And this is one of those happy moments with it. And then I love that is they're looking into each other's eyes. Everybody else is looking at the Pendragon, at them, to get a word in. And as it leads to Calcifer just being like, I was going to go outside, but it's raining in Market Crossing. And he's stuck there. And I love that Calcifer does get that last line. It's the whole story. It goes well with their dynamic because it is a story of Howl and Sophie falling in love. But I digress. Sorry, we're going to cut this a little short because there is a fuzzy kitty. I might do a secondary version of this. Also, the polls for the March or May, my screen is acting up. The May book club will be up soon. Acting crazy. All right, for some reason this is acting super nuts. I don't know what's going on. Let me try to fix something. Oh, okay, this is acting nuts. Maddie knocked something out, and so this is crazy. So we are probably going to end here for the day, but stay tuned for more episodes. We will talk soon. As usual, I'm your host, Zan. I'm Gonzwell. Catch you guys next time, and shoot. And remember to keep watching movies. I'll see you later. Or keep reading books. I'll see you later.